afternoon. This is KBC, and this is KBC Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for making time. We have a comprehensive live bulletin right here for you with just 9 days to the biggest, actually it's 8 days to the biggest soccer extravaganza in the world. That is the World Cup. And remember, you can watch 28 of those live games right here on KBC Channel 1 and all the 64 games on all our affiliate radio stations. I'll be telling you more about the World Cup in Qatar a little bit later, but for now, let's have a look at the news. Njue will be your sign language interpreter for this live newscast. My name is Njue. A few days after President William Ruto announced Kenya is set to manufacture the cheapest smartphone in Africa within a year, investors and young innovators gathered at one of the five-star hotels in Nairobi to discuss technological innovation in the country by providing inspiration to students interested in engineering technological career. Paulina Simiu has more details.
The first Kenya Students and Young Professionals Congress, organized by the Institutes of Electrical and Electronic Engineers IEEE. Here, the university students and young professionals received awards and guidance in the sector of technology with an aim of promoting innovation for growth and sustainability to drive technological change.
Now, almost every society following us and supporting young professionals and students to attend our conference, to help them to present a project, to tell how important the subject is, and first of all, I think, to meet others and to interact with them.
The students, however, raised concerns about the cutting down of funds for universities, claiming that it will greatly affect the technology sector.
When we are not going to have these fundings anymore, it means that our students won't be focused on education. They'll just be coming to school and there's no hope because they'll have to spend a lot actually to get the services. They'll have to spend a lot to go through their projects, and even that will even mean for the university to increase the fees.
Even as the government is reviewing the competency-based curriculum, Young Professionals says the system is a platform for young people to practically apply their knowledge in their day-to-day activities.
It has really created a platform where we who went through the 844 program and saw the gaps that were in this kind of training, where we got into industry not knowing where to start and how to start. All we did was cram through progress. But what we've seen with CBC, it is creating a facility where young people can be trained to have real life skills from a very young age, to follow careers that really help them to do what they love and what they're passionate about.
Even as the president has announced that Kenya is set to manufacture cheapest smartphone within a year, the young innovators are appealing to the government not to cut down funding in the universities, since it is the key foundation when it comes to research, innovation and manufacturing. Pauline Nasimiu for Lunchtime News, Nairobi.
It will soon be mandatory for all buildings to be insured before they can be approved for public use. Land CS Zakaria Njue says legislation and policy framework has been crafted awaiting approval. The CS spoke as he officially opened the 7th Institute of Surveyors Regional Conference in Kisumu. Achola Simon with the details.
Lives have been lost and hundreds of users maimed as buildings under public use while others under construction collapse. In most situations, the victims have ended up on the long and treacherous journey of chasing compensation without much success.
Land succession is a big issue in this region, and I think across the country. This is a person who was speaking to me from this region, that widows, poor people, transfer of land when the registered owner passes on is a big challenge, and they lose their land. We hope this is something that can be looked at in a framework.
That may soon be a thing of the past as the government through line institutions craft legislation and policy framework that will see all buildings and infrastructure meant for public use ensured. The Surveyors Registration Board is also finalizing maintenance rules and regulations to ensure the buildings remain safe for public use.
I'm informed that the Building Surveyors Registration Board has finalized crafting the building maintenance rules and regulations and are ready for public participation and submission to Parliament. The goal is to set standards for best practice in the places we live, work, worship, and recreate in order to avoid the risks of avoiding degeneration of these assets.
The sector estimates losses running into millions of dollars over degeneration of buildings in the sector.
It is our duty as a responsible government to protect our citizens. In this regard, we intend to make it mandatory by legislation and policy that all infrastructures only be used if insured against third-party liability.
Lancia Zakaria Njue also promised a speedy resolve of impending issues that have made operationalization of the Athi-Sisa app difficult.
The ministry, ladies and gentlemen, is in the process of digitizing land records and has made great strides in the rollout of the National Land Information Management System, dubbed as Athi-Sisa. That's what the president here was talking about.
The CS spoke as he officially opened the 7th Institute of Surveyors Regional Conference in Kisumu County.
Now, a fertilizer company in the country has come up with a mineral supplement tailor-made for livestock farmers in drought-stricken area. The supplement, dubbed Maziwa Pro, has essential minerals which help mostly cows reduce susceptibility to diseases and increase the quality nutritional value of daily product yields even in dry seasons.
Speaking at the launch of the Maziwa Pro product, Yara Animal Nutrition South Africa Managing Director Richard Baker underscored the company's resolve to help dairy farmers mainly in drought-stricken areas not only to save their animals but also get better returns from high dairy products.
We have travelled Africa. We definitely see that there's a very, very big interest in growing the animal nutrition side of the business. We went to Tanzania and now we've come to Kenya, and we're really excited the way Tanzania, Kenya, Zambia are all growing and are taking this extremely serious, the animal nutrition.
Yara Sales Nutrition for East Africa Dr. Peter Mukua noted that the product will help lactating dairy cattle have the required nutrients to boost the immunity of calves and has readily available calcium, which is one of the most important factors in animals surviving the drought.
The dairy farmers currently are suffering from myriad of problems, starting from increased feed cost. The current drought situation in the country is ensuring that we don't have enough fodder, and these have led to decrease in milk production, and this has greatly affected the small-scale farmers as well as large-scale farmers, and that's why as Yara we came up with a product that is going to ensure we increase the milk production per cow within the shortest time possible to ensure our farmers are able to leap big from the investment in the dairy sector.
Farmers from various circles who attended the launch lauded the move, saying many livestock keepers across the country are looking for solutions that can help save their animals, which are their source of livelihood from the biting drought. For Lunchtime News, I'm Alvin Kaunda.
Now, Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir has been urged to work with the national government for the benefit of the county. Nyali Member of Parliament Muhammad Ali also urged his counterparts in the region to put aside politics and work on fulfilling pledges made to the residents. The story and more in our county news roundup.
Speaking during the launch of a school feeding program for public schools that is set to benefit 11,000 pupils in the county, Nyali Member of Parliament Muhammad Ali has urged the area governor and leaders in the area to collaborate with the national government for the benefit of Mombasa people. Ali, however, urged the governor to deal with corruption cartels in the county, who he says are slowing down service delivery to the people of the coastal city.
kuja ufanye kazi na Daktari William Samoei Ruto. Mimi nitakuwa ubavuni hapa kando, tuweze kusukuma hii Mombasa pamoja, tuondoe dawa za kulevya pamoja, tuondoe dhulma pamoja, na tuhakikishe haki na usawa inapatikana kwa hao watu wote wa Mombasa County. Na huu mpango wa chakula umetusaidia sana, kwa sababu watoto hawatoki. Wakitoka darasani wanakula a short break and then they are back.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Forest Service, Meru County, has rolled out the planting of tree seedlings to align itself with the 5 billion trees planting initiative directed by President William Ruto during the last Mashujaa Day celebrations.
We are sure with the sufficient inputs, resources to produce more seedlings, KFS with its partners, that is the CFS, some NGOs, and even within private nurseries, that activity will be very much done within 5 years.
Meanwhile, the Artmaster Africa competition has finally been concluded with the winners of the competition announced. Griffin Lundi emerged the winner out of 400 competitors and was awarded a cash prize of $500. The competition is aimed at encouraging artists to showcase uniqueness of the African continent and its diverse cultures. The awards are sponsored by BIC.
It actually opened my mind to like a new world of doing art, because I was actually restricted to using pencils, but I came to realize that I can do way more with even pens.
And if we look at Kenya alone, there were just under 400 entries to the Artmaster competition. Griffin was a very worthy winner of our competition this year. As you heard from him earlier, this was one of several art pieces that he entered, and it just shows that there's a lot of real talent here in Kenya.
Finally, Rwanda is set to put up its first-way bridges along the 1,500 kilometers of its paved roads, following a benchmarking exercise between the Kenya National Highway Authority and Rwanda's Transport Development Agency on Axle Road control.
We conduct a number of visits to different way bridges, being static, way in motions, and actually we learn a lot. So now the ball is on our side. We have this assignment of implementing some of these infrastructure in our country. We came here to learn from Kenya experience so that we can be able to implement in accordance to international standards.
Very well, at about 1:15 the hour, we are taking our first breather. But before we do that, allow me to appreciate Richard Namboki. You say you're watching from Huruma. Ray Lusambe Chache, you say good work. Evelyn Kavaya in Baba Kayai, Nikiwa Mulot, tuko pamoja. John Mulongo, you say keep up the good work. Thank you so much for that. But we still have more news, including the latest in the preparations for the FIFA Qatar World Cup.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124.
November like never before. Mouth-watering programs. Maza takes a break and in comes football extravaganza. And a bouquet of the best of movies from the Orient lined up for you. Oh yes, November 2022 is like never before. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Kiswahili kitukuzwe.
Waswahili husema cha uvundo hakiliki, lakini hapa Lenana leo hakuna uvundo, chalika.
Ndio the sons of Mashariki, tajulikana hadi magharibi, na kama huamini tupe muda.
Na hakika kuwa hakuna mzazi anayeketi na mtoto wake na kumpea wosia au anayeketi na mzazi na mtoto wake na kumpea mawaidha yasiyofaa. Je, ni mzazi mgani atakayeketi na mtoto wake na kumwambia kwamba shiriki ufuska?
Mwenyezi Mungu mwenyewe alimpa mzazi juhudi la kumpa mwanadamu huyu mchanga mafunzo yake ya kwanza kabisa duniani hapa.
Kiswahili kitukuzwe, kwani lugha ya
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it KBC. Let's move on. Okoigama Self-Help Group at Masongo in Kisii Central Township Ward is appealing to the national and county governments for funding to equip them with the necessary infrastructure to sustain source of income. The Self-Help Group, which undertakes several projects including drying of green and ripe bananas and pumpkin for export, say they have now reverted to manual ways of production owing to high cost of power and maintenance of machinery.
Tengeneza zinaharibika, maana tunategemea jua. Kana serikali yetu itusaidie tupate mashini na pia itushike mkono ili tupate kuendelea. Tusiwe tunatumia visu, imetukata mikono mpaka tumeshindwa kabisa.
Badala ya ndizi kukaa hapa wiki nzima kabla hazijakauka, wakipata kile chumba cha kukaushia itakauka baada ya siku 2, hizo ndizi zimekauka na zinaenda ngambo.
From Kisii now to the coastal city of Mombasa, United Democratic Alliance UDA Voice of Mombasa movement has called on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate the loss of 3 billion shillings at the Mombasa County government during the reign of former Mombasa Governor Hassan Ali Joho. The lobby group was addressing the media in Mombasa after audit reports conducted in counties showed that the devolved government spent over 35 billion shillings in salaries to ghost workers. The report indicated Mombasa paid 3 billion in salaries to 1,000 ghost workers under the leadership of former Governor Ali Hassan Joho.
Kumekuwa kuna changamoto nyingi sana hapa Mombasa County, tukiona paka wafanyikazi wa county hawalipwi na kumbe pesa zilikuwa zinaingia kwenye mifuko ya watu. Tunamuomba governor wa sasa ahakikishe pia afanye ile human resource audit. Kwanza tuangalie kama ile ambayo ilifanywa kule Kisii. Tuelewe kwanza wafanyikazi genuine ni wangapi, yaweza kuwa hata hao ghost workers hata sasa pengine mishahara yao bado inaendelea kuingia. So tunaomba transparency katika hii serikali ya sahihi, hii county government hii ya Mombasa. Yale makosa ambayo yalikuwa yakifanyika tunaomba yabadilike kwa sasa na tuanze na transparency. Na governor tuambie, is he in control ama kuna mtu yuko in control juu yake, atuambie. Sisi tumemchagua, watu wa Mombasa wamemchagua yeye kama governor wa Mombasa.
Tuhakikishe kwamba county government ya Mombasa inawajibika ipasavyo, inahudumia raia wake ipasavyo.
The coastal region to the Mount Kenya region, where the alcohol beverage, let me take that again, the Alcohol and Beverages Association of Kenya, ABAC, has decried the increase in trade of illicit brews within the Mount Kenya East region. The association chairman, ABAC Gidua, said one of their mandates is to ensure that in collaboration with the government, the consumer was protected and have access to quality products. Embu County Commissioner Stephen Kehara observed that the sale of illicit brew was a big challenge in the region, noting that several engagements with stakeholders would help fight the menace that has also seen many lives lost.
As ABAC, we are concerned as manufacturers basically because we promote and we advocate for, against illicit activities. And our main concern is that, as per the WHO data of 2018, is that we have experienced a lot of illicit. Currently, about 44% of all the alcohol being sold is illicit. And we felt then we need to engage the government, and which has already been supporting us in the anti-illicit measures, and just have deliberations on how we can be able to protect the consumers, particularly the consumers based in Embu, on how we can be able to ensure that they have the right quality products and at the right time and in a manner that is safe for them to use. Yeah.
This is not the end. It's just the starting. We will continue engaging one another. But what we want to tell the you people is our total commitment in ensuring we are not going to allow illicit beer in our county. You know the effect, the dangers that it has been having to our youth, and that's the reason why we had to come up with this forum.
In other news, a section of legislators is pushing for constitutional amendment bill seeking to add 5 additional counties in Kenya. Led by Kuria East Member of Parliament Marwa Kitayama, the lawmakers say the addition of 5 counties will not further burden the taxpayers as it has a formula for revenue sharing, but instead address the issue of historical injustices.
And they don't want their own county to the disadvantage of others. We just want our own county so that we are able to also progress the good that this country is alongside others. So as of this bill is a cry of the people, and if it gets the president's support, then what else can anybody ask? This community called Kuria will be very, very indebted to him. And I'm sure he has gone to Teso. He has been told the same. I know he has gone to Mount Elgon. He has been told the same. The Sabaots are crying all the time. He has gone to Mwingi. The other day he was in church in Mwingi. I am so sure that this matter must have come up. And I know his heart is where the people are. So I don't want to call it a pre-election, a pre-election pledge. Because this is not his bill. This is my bill, the member of Parliament for Kuria East constituency, agitating on behalf of other Kenyans. And the president is a Kenyan, and he's our president. And I know he means well for this country. So when it comes to seeking his support at the very, very right time, all these communities that are agitating for this, we will seek audience with him, and we will ask him to also give us support as our leader.
So how soon do we expect the bill?
In sports, Liverpool star Thiago, Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea and Paris Saint-Germain Sergio Ramos were left out of Spain's World Cup squad, which was named by head coach Luis Enrique. Spain are in Group E together with Costa Rica, Germany and Japan. The 2022 World Cup finals will be broadcast live on KBC Channel 1 television and all KBC radio stations. World Cup equal KBC.
Head coach Luis Enrique has opted to select a youthful side for Qatar 2022 with Barcelona starlets Ansu Fati, Pedri and Gavi being included in the 26-man squad. However, Liverpool midfielder Thiago Alcantara and Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea, Paris Saint-Germain defender Sergio Ramos and Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga missed out. Chelsea's Cesar Azpilicueta is among 5 Premier League players included. Brighton's Robert Sanchez and Brentford's David Raya are also in the squad. Meanwhile, Inter Milan striker Romelu Lukaku has been named in Roberto Martinez's Belgium World Cup squad despite concerns over his fitness. Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne has been selected alongside 6 Premier League players. Leicester City trio Wout Faes, Timothy Castagne and Yuri Tillemans are among the players named. Elsewhere, Bayern Munich star Sadio Mane has been named in Senegal's 2022 World Cup squad despite suffering an injury against Werder Bremen on Tuesday. Senegal begins their World Cup campaign on the 21st of this month against the Netherlands, and Mane will be crucial in their hopes for emerging in a group that also includes host nation Qatar and Ecuador.
Climate change is not the only concern for scientists and environmentalists. The sports world is also feeling the heat of climate change. Countries are being forced to invest in expensive technologies to track the quality of air and keep sports facilities cool to enhance the performance of sports people. But what is the correlation between climate change and athletics? Brian Kimani talked to the president of Athletics Kenya, Jack Njue, during the ongoing climate change conference in Sharm el-Sheikh and filed the following story.
When we talk about climate change, what comes into mind are the rivers, the oceans, the mountains, and of course the forests. But it has everything to do with the running as well. Because for you to become a good runner, you must have good lungs. And for your lungs to be in good shape, the environment contributes so much.
Those high altitude areas where athletes normally train, just like they have trained up, quite a lot, even in the past. We need to take particular care. We need to take care, very, very particular care in terms of what, these pollution systems and air quality.
Climate crisis sounds like a far distant issue affecting the Antarctica, Amazon forest and the ozone layer. But far from it, global warming is having a negative impact on the racing tracks, race courses and even the football fields. Kenya, which is a world beater in long-distance races, knows this better. Each athlete needs to train in high-altitude camps to build enduring lungs and help them improve their air-holding capacity. But the double crisis of air pollution and rising temperatures are both affecting the enduring spirit of many athletes.
Climate change effects have affected the operations of Athletics Kenya, where the races, the marathons, can no longer be started at the times when they used to be started. The finishing time has been affected because of issues of the quality of air. Athletics
Kenya's president, Jackson Njue, says they are being forced to install air quality sensors to monitor air quality in Kenya. The organization has so far installed the system at Kasarani Stadium, with plans to install more gadgets at Nyayo Stadium, Iten and Nyahururu high-altitude training camps, an undertaking that will cost millions of shillings. Globally, there is an expanding acknowledgement of the connection between sport and climate change. For example, it has been estimated that the 2016 Rio Olympics released 3.6 million tons of carbon dioxide, while the 2018 Russia World Cup released 2.16 million tons.
Very soon, then you will see that human beings, and particularly athletes, will not be able to perform to their optimum because of those kinds of effects. So we want to urge the planners that as people change their locations, let us plan well, not only in the cities, even in the local environment. Look at even the small shopping centers today.
Sport is also a heavy polluter of the environment, especially during construction of stadiums and sports centers. Though the jury is still out on how bad the situation is, there is one consensus: global warming is wrecking the world of sports.
And that a player profile by the GOAT himself, the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi, takes us to the tail end of this live news. Guys, thank you so much for making time. And on behalf of my colleagues who have put this together, thank you so much for watching. But allow me just appreciate just two of you. Isaac Nash, watching live from Sydney, Australia. Mark Anyango, thank you for your good news. And also Nalubega Fatuma, you ask how we are doing. We are doing fine, and especially with the World Cup just round the corner. Just keep it KBC. And also visit our social media platform for all the latest, including the fixtures and also the matches that KBC will be televising. Remember, all the African teams will be covering them, and all other big teams that will be playing in this year's World Cup. Remember, World Cup Eco KBC. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Njue, and Anne Wangeshi has been our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. Thank you so much for watching.
under arrest for drug trafficking.
Run him in after you. Yes, sir.
She wanted a good wedding. And of course, as a man, that's the only thing you can promise to someone you want to marry anyway. I spent a lot of money until immediately after the event, I realized I had nothing.
Do not budget other people's money. Do not budget. Lower your budget. If you have to lower the number of guests to be able to work with what you have in your hands, what you can bring out.
We made sure we operated within what we had. People, when they thought we had gone for the animal, as we went for a prayer mountain to pray.